What are the markets saying? Is it time to buy? Is it time to sell? Or is it time to simply hold on, especially if we have extra cash on the side? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today, we're going to be doing a market overview, but mainly on the higher time frame. We will still do some micro, moves, and we will still look at the micro level, but generally speaking, we will be looking at the weekly candles as the weekly candles have just closed and have created new weekly candles. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I already have called the reversal earlier on in the private community. I highly recommend you guys joining it. It's a very active community. And, we are also marking up 20 of the most popular coins. And those coins are some of the ones we talk about on the channel, like Render Turbo, Myro, and a bunch of other beloved coins. Listen, Bitcoin last week has closed pretty bullish, right? We can see at one point we were at pretty much 91,000. And then at one point we were roughly at 99,000 and we closed at 99,365. We can already see that, Monday just started, but we have pumped a couple thousand, which is what I just showed you a minute ago, roughly when I called out the reversal already down here. I've been telling people in my Discord, hey guys, it looks like reversals are starting to come in, very early signs, but I believe it is worth the risk taking because we talked about how there was pretty much this triple bottom over here at 93,000 ish to 92,000, right? Roughly between there was a triple bottom and we swept it. And then you can see many, many days we have already been reversing. I did say, pretty much once we kind of get past 100K, we will be pumping fast. And you know what? That happened to be true even before that, right? Roughly at 98,500, we can see we had lots of buying pressure. The reason why I said this is because there is a lot of imbalance on the left side. Imbalance is pretty much when there is no real support or resistance in one area, and the markets usually mirror it, right? So if something dumps pretty fast, something will pump pretty fast. If we go to a different chart like the market overview, right? Total market cap excluding the top 10, we can see that we have officially broken out of a zone, right? We have officially broken out of this zone over here. And we are looking how we are going to be reacting. Now, if we go on the weekly right now, last week looks pretty damn bullish. This week is still 50-50. I do suspect there may be one or two final pullbacks, but we are going to have to see. Generally speaking, this is not your time to be stingy if you're looking to be buying coins, right? We are almost out of time. Time for perfection is long gone, right? The time to have been buying was when we had these big, massive red days, or when we were in this big, massive consolidation zone, or, even during bear season, right? So the time to be very stingy with prices and nitpicky are gone. When we look at the higher time frame, we can see that sooner than later we will be looking to be testing these tops once again, and we will most likely just break kind of right away. Maybe stay there just for a couple days before we start zooming up. Once we start zooming up, that is it. That is it. There is no, oh, I think it might go down. I think no. Simply no. Okay. So you are running the risk of overall, missing out, right? Missing out on good profits if you are still not in the markets or if you're still waiting for extreme massive pullbacks. If I go to something like our beloved render, right? Go here on the weekly, we can see how well we recovered. I also did call the reversal in the private community, for two main reasons. So we had this support over here. So this support was very, very valid because not only was a big, massive support where we can see it has touched multiple times, roughly around the 650 area, right? We can see multiple times, but when we go on a smaller time frame, there was a nice bottom over here, a double bottom at $6.35, which got swept by the market makers. And we also went to some of the last imbalance over here. So multiple confirmations, three confirmations that that was going to be the bottom. We broke out from the zone. I call this reversal. right? When it was already at like 678. And then now we are pretty much at $9. Render is very, very bullish. It is going to be one of the most bullish coins, especially in the AI sector. For me, without debating too much, this is a top three AI coin this cycle, and is why I hold literally 40%, right? 40% of my portfolio is the render token. Is it too late to get in? No. Are you going to get insane gains? No. Well, everyone has a different definition of insane, right? For me, I'm just aiming roughly for that 10 to 20x. And for me, it's possible because I got into earlier positions. If you get in now, 10x is still viable. It is a little bit on the more slightly riskier side, but you can still get that 7.5 to 12x pretty comfortably. So if you're just looking for solid gains, for me, Render is one of the big boys I am looking at this cycle. When we look at something like Kaspa, right? Kaspa continues to be pretty weak, right? When we see the weekly candles, there is not much confidence in the price action. Yes, it did technically break a little bit of structure, but when we compare it to previous points, we can see that it has always kind of just gone up fairly quickly, right? When we look at over here, right, kind of had strong. The next week was kind of weak, a retest, and then we continue going up. When we went down here, we can see I call this reversal 2 before. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know I call this reversal. Boom, big, big bang. And now we're just kind of lingering around, right? Obviously, this could be a similar week to the week we had in mid-May, and the next week could pump. But at the current moment, nothing seems too convincing. When we go on a smaller level, right, it is kind of the same situation. If we respect roughly, let's just say 11.5 cents or a little bit higher, then, there's a good chance we could go create more higher highs, getting away from this liquidity sweep. At the moment, for me, this looks like it's going to get swept. The weekly does not look that great. When we look at Pangolin on the weekly, ladies and gentlemen, right? Nothing also looks too convincing. There is a double bottom roughly at 30 cents, which I believe will be swept, and that will be the final time you will be able to buy, right? We are running out of imbalance to fill up also, and we are on top of a big support. We can see many, many, many candles and charts and wicks over here at 28 cents. Once we respect this, we should fly high back up to key levels of 40 cents. And in my opinion, we should fly high. The next real target is 60 cents. We can see the way the weekly closed was not that strong for Pangolin, which is okay. We know Pangolin moves in bursts, and that is just the way Pangolin just has been moving the last several months, kind of sleeping until it's not. XRP, right? XRP is looking pretty bullish, right? Overall, this is a bearish structure, right? But given the context, for me, it is different, right? We're not going to be having a huge sell off down to $1.42 to $1.10, right? To other key zones because the structure is different. Altcoin season is just around the corner. When we come to Bitcoin dominance, right? There is something we have to wait for, right? I talked about this in the private community, but I'll give you a sneak peek over here. So we are looking at pretty much what's going to happen next. If you want a bigger altcoin season, you want scenario one to play out. Scenario one is us breaking past 50, just pretty much 59% holding and continuing going higher, going above the last relevant highs of 61.5%. If you want altcoin season to happen quicker, but a smaller rally, then you want Bitcoin dominance to dump below pretty much 55%, retest it, and continue going down. At the moment, it does look pretty bullish in my opinion. Obviously, it is just a Monday and we have to see how the rest of the week goes. But when we talk about last week's candle, we can see it closed pretty well into this weekly order block. Overall, I want scenario one to play out because I want a few more months of Bitcoin pumping. Then, of course, the classic scenario where we go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to large caps to then, medium and micro caps, altcoin season, yada, yada, yada. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.